All righty. How we doing, everyone? This is Ron. It's a little after 6 on Monday evening. So I hope everyone's well. I know we are still looking at facing the aftermath of a bad storm. So I got my power back last night. Of course, I still don't have internet or cable, but that's okay. I have lights, and that's good enough for now. But I hope all everyone's well, and see if we have any questions, any questions or concerns. On yesterday, we mainly talked about the storm. We looked at it from different angles, and talked about what we saw and what we felt, and even discussed that no one really addressed it. No one felt the need to, at least the ones that voiced uh, that their made a statement about it on yesterday. But so it happened, and this is what it is, and I am. We are impacted by it, and that's no coincidence. So uh, we're looking at that and experiencing it, and some of it may even reveal itself in the aftermath after this is over. But one of the things came out of the discussion yesterday. I think Evelyn brought it up, and we all concurred. It is a cleansing. She talked about the atmosphere afterwards and the beauty of it and the sun and yeah, we all noticed that and so that is one of the main things that we got out of it, especially in the climate that we are right now politically and socially in this world. We need a cleansing, need a good cleansing. So any other questions or comments, not necessarily about that, but about anything else may have crossed your mind.
Ron, this is Valerie. This may seem kind of strange, but I always thought that the moon shine every night. I don't
Every
know.
night?
I mean, if not every night, some nights, and that's why I was like, why are we not getting at least getting light from the moon? But I guess I was wrong.
No, Pastor, are you trying to address that? I think he's in and out with us. Anyone else? Anyone else see anything in Val's question? Why Pastor is probably getting to a clearer spot so he can speak. He's traveling, so on his way back home, not traveling. But anyway, anybody else see anything? Val, the moon has cycles, and so it's. I don't think that it's always visible, and not only that, you have cloudy days, and so. But from a spiritual perspective, I'm not sure. Uh, I don't know how to answer that. That's why I'm hoping somebody else has an answer for you.
Okay.
Uh, okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to write that down. And size Monday. Hey Val.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Ron?
Yeah, I don't know if it's my phone or but yeah, there is a connection issue, I think. And I think that it, again is the aftermath of the storm. I know it is a pastor's phone. Yeah. write that down. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Any other questions, comments? Okay. Um, I found something interesting, and these days, if you guys have noticed, uh, our studies have about anything. We've always talked about anything, but when we went through the Bible, it did something to me. Uh, it didn't alarm me. It didn't upset me or bring me in anxiety or anything like that. But it did kind of create a space, I think. And it started me searching to see, okay, then what is true? Who are we? And what is the link there that is a mystery? And so in the midst of that, a lot of things to kind of uncover. And one of the things I ran into a book, and I put it that way because I kind of stumbled on this by accident. And okay, but this very small tribe in Africa, the Gara, the Gara people, and they're from West Africa, uh, Ghana and the Ivory Coast, and Upper Volta. Uh, the tribe, very much part of the tribe. She's dead now, but uh, she wrote this book about some of their uh, things that they did. And I love this because it talks about their everyday life. Okay, and I want to read something now. Think of the contrast of what we have been taught about this, and how you feel about it. Okay, I'm going to talk about uh, I'm going to talk about menstruation. It says initiation, and I'll tell you what initiation is in a minute. Uh, we look at the connection that women have with the cycles and the moon. This discussion opened something infinite in me. Many of the civilized countries in this world, including some African countries, look at the menstruating woman with discomfort. People ignore the sacredness of menstruation. They do not understand how valuable it is for a woman to have her period. Let the flow of the menstrual blood carries power. It's a powerful time for the mooning woman. She carries healing energy within her and has a tremendous ability to heal and see into things. In my village, people will seek help from such a woman. They will treat her with great respect. Isn't that totally different than what we've been taught? I some of the scriptures about if you touch a woman who was on her cycle, you were considered unclean, and there was some kind of ceremony that you had to go through to be cleansed again. And but there are several. Even the woman with the issue of blood, the one of the miraculous things in that is where she was not supposed to be in the middle of a crowd of people because she was considered unclean. And this just stuck out to me when I read this. Uh, but any thoughts or anything on this? Anybody?
This is Audrey.
Pastor,
Just off the top of my head,
hey, Audrey. Hello?
hello, can you hear me now?
Oh, I can. I can hear you now. Yes.
Sorry, I just got cut off or something. Something happened. I don't know. Anyway, but just off the top of my head, it just makes me think how very distorted our beliefs have become. But it also makes me think that how what lengths people wanted to go to discount and devalue women in society since in the diaspora, I guess is what I want to say. But it's just interesting to me that that the patriarchal attitude would be one that women count for nothing except just being servants, I guess, and having children. Anyway.
No,
it's just interesting, yeah.
One of the things, it seems like everything we've learned is been an untruth, just an out lie, and especially if we see that it really pertains to us, and anything that we believed, was turned over and made to mean just the opposite. So I agree with you. It is someone, a lot of energy being used and to deface people of color, for that matter, and just think, where would we be in this world if this were not the case? If this were something more, something that we value. But that really was one of the things that stuck out to me. If you don't mind, I have a couple more of these I'll read to you that I thought were pretty interesting. There.
What's the name of the book again?
Sorry. Was someone speaking? I have a question.
Audrey was asking, what was the name of the book again?
The name of
How much is left for X?
The Spirit of Intimacy. And it's a little small book, and as I said, it was where we are now. I'm kind of just I'm searching. I want to see things. I want to know truth and understand things really, instead of the brain.
Ron, are you there?
Yes. Yes.
You died out when you start saying you want to know the truth. Could you say that part again?
Yeah, I just want to know everything, and I'm just kind of searching. When Pastor and George, GC, kind of opened up the Cushite kingdom and what that looked like to us. It opened something in me, and I just want to know more about who we are from that perspective, and see what that looks like, instead of the way of life that we've been given and everything that we've been taught. It's not who we are, not totally anyway. So I'm just intrigued by things I pick up and see about the African culture and who the people are and what was valuable to them. And this book talks about nature and family and that sort of thing. So can I read some more to you? Can I read something else?
Yes.
Sure. Because I'm with you, Ron. I kind of feel like I'm in a bit of a search to kind of fill in some of
Yeah.
those places that have been emptied out in the last year or so. I kind of want to know, I just have this feeling of needing to kind of fill in some gaps within myself
Yeah.
in terms of who I really am. So yeah, I agree with you.
So, and I'm always looking at not and online searching for stuff, and I find little things, and this one to me is a gem. I love this little book, but it's called The Spirit of Intimacy, and I'll give you her name. I won't try to say it because I'm gonna mess it up, but her name is Sobonfu. That's her first name, Sobonfu, and her last name is Some. They try to access it. Listen at
Okay,
this.
thanks.
Want me to spell it again? Okay. I think our phone service is a result of the storm as well. So, but that's okay. If we have questions, we'll talk about it again.
Okay.
Okay. Did someone have a question?
And?
Okay. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read some. I'm gonna talk about a gatekeeper, and I want you to tell me who the gatekeepers are. The gatekeepers stand in the threshold of the gender line. They are mediators between the two genders. They make sure that there is peace and balance between men and women. If the two genders are in conflict and the whole village is caught in it, the gatekeepers are the ones who bring peace. Gatekeepers do not take sides. They simply act as a sword of truth and integrity. What are the gatekeepers, based on what you heard?
Ron, I
Are we
believe
not?
this is Evelyn. Are you?
No, go ahead.
Does anybody want to take a guess? Who are the gatekeepers, based on what I just read? The gatekeepers are the people that we call homosexuals. It goes on to tell you how valuable they are and how spiritual they are in the village.
That's what I thought, Ron, but I was too scared to say it.
But That's just amazing to me. Everything that we've been taught to turn our backs on, everything that we've been taught is to be ashamed of, is they find value in. And the reason that they do, I think, is because everything to them is spiritual. There is a part of this that she talks about, and she says men and women come together and they think it is them that brought them together, their person that made the attraction. She said, but it's spirit. People come together because of spirit, but if you never seek that, you end up in probably a not so balanced relationship if you never move past your mind. And I'm like, wow, that makes sense to me. I you know.
Well, Ron, this is Evelyn. It doesn't make sense to me because you said, is she saying you got to be gay or homosexual to be a gatekeeper? You can't just have an individual just can't have a balance of both. Can't hear you.
Not. Yeah,
Can't hear you, brother.
We're having a hard time. Huh?
I was just saying we couldn't hear
Hearing
you.
each other. Are you guys hearing each other okay? Is it me that's the problem?
You're going
Well, we
in
don't
and
want to
out.
call you a problem. Yeah, we don't know who it is, but I hear everybody.
I can hear you good.
Evelyn, I
Oh.
don't think she's saying that in terms of like they're the only ones. I think she's saying that just to make a point that those people, in terms of that village or whatever village she's talking about, and African villages can be kind of complicated because of they have their traditional values and views and culture, and then they have layered on top of that all the European stuff, and it can be different depending on whether the European stuff was the British or the French or the Germans or the Spanish, so
Yeah.
or the Portuguese. So it can be really complicated sometimes. But I think she's just saying that in the village, in the traditional cultural sense, these people had a role. And we talked about this a long time ago. We talked about how even in the US, because masculinity in the US has become so toxic in the last 30 years. Homosexuality and gay people have just come out of the woodwork in the last 30 years. And I think we talked about it happened for a reason, because as long as women's voices are being silenced, it's got to come from somewhere. That balance has to come from somewhere. So I don't think she necessarily means that they are the only gateway. It's just they served in that role, that particular role, when there was conflict or disagreements or whatever.
Okay, because there's a lot of people who have come out of the closet, as we say, and I think it's because of suppression of the female. So, okay, I just thought that she was saying that they're the only ones who are the gatekeepers. So, okay, I see that now. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, Ron. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. This is GC in Philly. I actually have the book, Ron. The
Okay.
Spirit of Intimacy, and
Yeah.
and you reading or referring to chapter 13 in terms of homosexuality, but what it says in the first sentence is that the words gay and lesbian do not exist in the village, but there is the word gatekeeper. And so I think, as Audrey was saying, in terms of different interpretations, when we think about homosexuality, but again, it just talked about gatekeepers are people who live a life at the edge between two worlds, and the world of the village and the world of the spirit. Though they do not marry in this world, they say they have partners they have partners in other dimensions. So again, I haven't, read it, totally, and I just wanted to respond to the first opening statement so that way, again, we can at least know that the words gay and lesbians do not exist in the village, but there is the word gatekeepers. So I don't know if that resonated a little bit, but I could read a little bit more if necessary. But I think it's gives some clarity on what you're saying.
There
does,
is
George.
a highly spiritual people, and
Yes.
that's it. Like at one point, she says one of the things you do when you wake up in the morning, somebody's going to walk up to you and ask you a question, and I can't remember what the question is, but it's, are you happy, or have you had a happy thought, or something along those lines. And if you haven't, they want to know why. They want to fix you because they want everybody to be spiritually enlightened. And you in this village, you do not belong to yourself. You belong to the village. So, for example, if two people got married and they had a spat, everybody in the village responsibility to mend the spat. So they would get together and have a council and see if they could pull things together. Also, if you had children, the children belong to the village. So if three women had kids about the same time, and all of them are breastfeeding, they would breastfeed each other's children, and it wouldn't be any big deal because all the children belong to everybody. So it's just a totally different world than what we're used to. And again, I think as part of our uncovering.
Can I ask real quick, Ron, what country he's writing about?
It's in the Western, it's the Gara, Dagara people, the Gara tribe in West Africa, countries of Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Togo.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. So, but I like her book. Something else I want to read to you, if you guys don't mind. Let me find it here. Okay. George, I'm on page 35 if you want to follow me. And I am skipping around. I'm trying to find some stuff that we have discussed that kind of fit sort of the search that we're on. So this has to do with masculinity and femininity. Being a woman does not mean you have nothing to do with masculine energy. Similarly, being a man does not mean that you have nothing to do with feminine. Vaginas and penises are not the only thing that define our sexual nature. Our lives are influenced by the presence within us, both feminine and masculine. And just maintain harmony within us. There are things that men do in order to nourish what they call, this one was very interesting to me. There are things that men do in order to nourish what they call their feminine self. Have to do in order to nourish their male self. In the village,
Can't hear you, Ron.
have gone through initiation together, meet at the same spot where they have a ritual that their behavior is a kind of strict male-to-male emotional exchange. There's something about it that breaks down the narcissistic feeling that comes with managing responsibility. Even though it's not a funeral where men and women and children can cry together, the men cry as much as they do touch with his emotions. And this ritual allows them to do so without waiting until someone dies. There is a caretaking, not prescribed, but a random caretaking that goes on. Someone, because of their inner presence, because of inner pressure of some sort will break down and someone else will take care of him. And while taking care of him, the caretaker too is going to break down. And someone is going to come to join him. And so it becomes a continuous support for nurturing of this nurturing ritual. Now, they define a ritual as any time you're trying to reach the spirits or the ancestors. But it goes on to say it's mobile. But I just thought that was interesting. And there's also a ritual, too, that the women go through. Women go through something where they go hunting and gather and do the things that the men would do. But this takes place once a year so that they can get in touch with that other side of themselves. I just thought that was an interesting part, too.
Ron, it was a lot that we didn't hear because you were going in and out at one time.
Okay. Well, I as I said before, I think this may be the aftermath of the storm, y'all. But I moved around from one room to another. I don't know what else to do.
And I can hear you real good.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think because yesterday you guys heard me fine, right? At least I hope so.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
I think Verizon went down today or something like that. Some of those.
yeah,
Sure did.
Verizon was having. Yeah.
Well, I got Verizon. I got Verizon, and I was still up here in Gaffney.
Okay. But anyway, I don't want to keep going in if you guys can't hear me. But this book I didn't want to.
Yeah, you're still going in and out, Ron.
I their as of life, and I love their closeness. And there is another section there that's very interesting where they talk about their children, the ones that left for college, that don't come back. How them being ashamed of their parents. So they only hear from them when they're in trouble, when they need prayer, when they need spiritual guidance or something. Other than that, they don't come back, you know. And I'm like, wow. So those are the kind of things that, you know, that kind of shape the covering of it is what we're doing, and showing that, hey, it's embrace who you are and love who you are and understand. Maybe we can visit it again when we have better reception. Is that okay?
That's fine with me, because what you're talking about, I'm enjoying it. It's very knowledgeable and informative. So yeah, that would be great, Ron.
Okay.
Yeah, I concur with Evelyn. That would be great if we can, you know, revisit it, Ron, because I know
And
there
like
were some conversations that we had in the past in terms of us being, you know, having both masculine and feminine, you know what I mean, energy, you know, due to having, you know, both parents. And so I think it's something that we definitely need to revisit. And I'm in agreement.
But well, thank y'all. I appreciate that. I'll look at some more passages from this, and maybe we can discuss them. But some of it, though, I was really looking at this in contrast to some of the stuff that's in Scripture, you know. And we've talked about that. I think God is showing us truth everywhere. Everywhere we dare to look, everywhere we have a desire to see, we have the opportunity to see it. So I'm thankful for that. Very much so. So if you guys don't mind, then we'll, since you can't hear me, unless somebody else has something else they want to discuss. Okay. Well, maybe hopefully we can pick up Saturday if we don't have another topic by then. We'll talk about this some more. Okay.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Ron.
Okay. Y'all have a great evening, great week, and
Thank
be
you,
safe.
Ron.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you, Ron. Bye-bye.